Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are taking a journey back towards thousands, actually millions of years into the past. Before cities, before farming, before written history, there was us, Homo sapiens, wandering the earth. Nomads, hunter gatherers, living in the wild world of the prehistoric age. So, what exactly is prehistory? It's the time before writing was invented, before history was written down. We are talking about a period that stretches back millions of years, and it only ended around 5,000 years ago when the first civilizations began writing. It's the longest era in human history, covering millions of years, from the time the first humans appeared until around 3000 BCE when writing systems began. History is divided into two parts: prehistory before writing and history after writing was invented. Since people didn't leave behind written documents during prehistory, we learn about them through archaeology by studying tools, bones, cave paintings, and ancient ruins. Okay, now let us learn something about Homo sapiens and our ancestors. Our species, Homo sapiens, evolved around 300,000 years ago in Africa, but we weren't the first humans. Before us were Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and even Neanderthals. What set Homo sapiens apart was our ability to think symbolically, cooperate in large groups, and adapt to different environments. We developed language, culture, and tools at a level no other species had before. During prehistory, many human like species existed, including Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and Neanderthals. Homo habilis, the first tool users. They were one of the earliest species of the genus Homo, living about 2.4 to 1.4 million years ago. They are known for being the first to use stone tools, marking a key step in human evolution. Second, Homo erectus. They were the first to walk upright and leave Africa. They were early human species that lived from about 1.9 million to 110,000 years ago. They were the first to walk fully upright, use fire, and migrate out of Africa to Asia and Europe. Third, Neanderthals. They were close cousins of modern humans. They lived in Europe and parts of Asia around 400,000 to 40,000 years ago. They were skilled hunters with large brains, used tools, wore clothes, and even buried their dead. Then, what about Homo sapiens? They were wise humans. They evolved around 300,000 years ago in Africa. We are their descendants, the only human species still alive today. What made Homo sapiens different? They had advanced brains, they used language, they had symbolic thinking, better tools, and social cooperation. These traits helped them adapt, survive, and eventually spread across the world. Now let's learn about the life of hunter gatherers. For most of human history, we were nomads, constantly moving, following herds of animals or seasonal plants. These people were hunter gatherers. The men often hunted, the women gathered berries, roots, and herbs, though the lines were always so strict. They lived in small groups, used stone tools, discovered fire, and slept under the stars or in caves. They had no permanent homes, no crops, no animals, but they were strong, smart, and deeply connected to nature. Let's move to the important age called as the Stone Age. The entire time falls under what we call the Stone Age because most of their tools were made from, you guessed it right, stone. It's divided into three parts: Paleolithic Age, Old Stone Age, Mesolithic Age, Transitional Period, and Neolithic Age, New Stone Age. Let's learn about them in more detail. First one, Paleolithic Age. Old Stone Age, the longest phase. Early humans learned to make sharp tools and weapons from stone. These were basic but revolutionary. They used it for hunting, cutting, and survival. During this time, humans were hunter gatherers. They didn't farm or stay in one place. They moved around in small groups, following animals and seasonal plants. Let's go to the second one, Mesolithic Age. It's a transitional period. The main activities were hunting and gathering. But people started to settle down more. Tools got smaller and sharper, called microliths, and they were often attached to wood or bone to make arrows, spears, and fishing tools. People began in domesticating animals and experimenting with early farming, especially near rivers and lakes. Okay, third one, Neolithic, New Stone Age. People began farming and building villages. It began around 8000 BCE and marked a huge turning point in human history. The biggest change was agriculture. People started farming crops and domesticating animals, which meant they no longer had to move around to find food. This led to permanent settlements, the rise of villages, and the start of organized communities. That Neolithic shift marked the beginning of the end of the nomadic lifestyle. Okay, now let us learn something important, the end of nomadicism and the start of civilization. About 10,000 years ago, everything changed. Humans began to domesticate plants and animals. This is called the Neolithic Revolution. Farming meant people could settle down in one place, villages grew, communities were formed, and eventually civilizations were born. The age of hunter gatherers and nomads didn't end overnight, but it was the beginning of history as we know it. The end of prehistory and the rise of civilization. Prehistory ends when humans begin to write, build cities, and form governments and laws. This happened around 3000 BCE in places like Mesopotamia, ancient Egypt, ancient China, and the Indus Valley. These early civilizations marked the beginning of recorded history. So, next time you look at a city skyline or scroll through your phone, remember it all started with a spark, a fire, a stone tool, a group of nomads working together to survive. That's where we came from. If you enjoyed this journey through time, give the video a like, subscribe, and comment below what fascinates you most about our prehistoric ancestors. See you in the next one.